What's up guys, welcome to the Hardwin82 channel. I'm Adam and today we're gonna talk about how to build a gaming PC. This specific build is up to 1200 pounds, dollars, even Swiss francs. So if you're someone who's looking to buy something like this in that price range, this video is for you. If you're planning to buy something more expensive or less expensive, this video is still for you because I'm gonna explain you why I chose those parts, and I will provide you some tips to better understanding how to build a PC. This video is not sponsored by anybody, only by me. So this specific build is for me. And I'm excited about that because of two things. First, I haven't built a PC for the last 15 years, maybe more. I used to be an IT guy, I was building PCs on daily basis, but that was almost 20 years ago. I cannot believe what I'm saying now. From that point, when I finished that job and I started doing different things, I always bought second-hand PCs, and obviously I was upgrading them. I was changing CPUs with motherboards, but that was just small bits. Last time, it's been a while since I built a proper PC from A to Z. And another thing why I'm excited, because I did a proper homework. I knew exactly what I want, and I wanted price to the efficiency ratio to be as best as possible. In other means, I want the most from every dollar I spent. So guys, stay with me, we're gonna build a PC. Part 1 guys, let's talk about why I chose these parts and not something else. The first decision you need to make is what CPU you're gonna use. The good news is you have only two options. So it's not like with cars, you have BMW, Mercedes, Ford, etc, and you don't know. Here we have two choices. You cannot go really wrong with any of those. Both manufacturers are doing great job with CPUs. But for my build, I chose CPU from AMD company. Exactly AMD Ryzen 9700X. This is 8-core processor with 16 threads with amazing ability for gaming and much more. In the price range, let's say you have a budget up to $200 for CPU, or 300, 400, doesn't matter. If you choose CPU, if you want to compare CPU for, in this case, 240 francs, Swedish francs, and you want to compare this to Intel CPU for the same price, they will be quite similar in the games and productivity. The main reason why I chose AMD, because for many years I was an Intel boy, is power efficiency. If you look at the power consumption, this processor takes much less wattage against rival Intel processors, and the difference is massive. I'm not talking about 3 to 5%, I'm talking really about 50% or even more. So only that one thing pushed me to AMD processors. But again, if you don't look at stuff like that, whatever you choose in the same price range, you will be good to go. With CPUs, you have three types basically. So in a massive shortcut, you have three different types of CPUs. You have Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7, Ryzen 9. Ryzen 5 is basically for gaming and everyday usage. Ryzen 7 is for heavy gaming, so if you have monitor 4K and you want to play games 4K, this is the way you go. You should minimum think about Ryzen 7. And Ryzen 9 is more for productivity, so we have shitloads of threads and cores inside, massive memory also built in. So those Series 9 is for professional use. The same with Intel, they have Core i5, i7, i9, the same principle. Gaming, heavy gaming, and productivity, and the productivity next level. I'm talking about virtualization, graphic designing, CAD designing, stuff like that. So that was massive shortcut because obviously there are other CPUs, but that doesn't matter in the gaming world. Obviously you need to have a motherboard, and decision here is very important. So you decided to have CPU, but what motherboard you choose will affect everything. So you could have really powerful CPU, but if you connect this with a really bad motherboard, you will lose a lot of important frames per second, and you don't want that. So in this case, basically I could choose three types of the motherboard: B550, B850 or X870. I could go easily with B550 and I would be probably happy, and nothing will be bad about that. But because I built this for myself and I know in the close future I will be doing small upgrades, I cannot simply afford having old generation motherboard, even if it's very good. So my recommendation is this: if you want to save some bucks, B550 is perfectly fine. Obviously, you cannot just buy any B550. You need to do small research. You can speak with ChatGPT or use YouTube and just put the best 550 motherboard for AMD processor and have a look quickly. X870 is an amazing motherboard with all the bells and whistles and the newest tech, Generation 5 SSD, many PCI lines, all bells and whistles you can imagine. Yes, X870 is an amazing motherboard, but it's too expensive. I don't need all those amazing features right now, so I decided to go with a Gigabyte motherboard, especially after what is happening with ASRock motherboards. And there's many cases that ASRock motherboards killing AMD processors, but not all of them, only X3D versions. So if you're planning to buy a processor like that, you know, the top spec amazing CPUs, you might avoid ASRock, at least for now, because they still don't know what is happening. Might be something related with configuration, users going a little bit too high with overclocking. That might be that simply, but might be something else, and at the moment I would avoid ASRock motherboards. So I went with Gigabyte model AORUS Elite with Wi-Fi 7, and for the very first time I pay attention to colors, which I never do. I never care about the colors, but I thought, why not? I will go a little bit crazy. So my main color is white, so I wanted motherboard to be white as well. What's going on? Am I a teenager again? Guys, this motherboard is great, has everything I need, and it's probably even overkill for everything. So full support for X3D processors. So in the BIOS you have very smart and easy wizard. Just enable this turbo mode and job done. That's it. So if you go with a processor like this, they got you covered. By the way, why I didn't go with X3D AMD processor? Because every benchmark is showing this is the best value and the best performance in gaming. Okay, I will tell you quickly why. Next time when you watch all those reviews showing how great this X3D processor is, pay attention to small detail, resolution, because these X3D processors are great, but only when you play in a full HD resolution. I know there's a lot of people playing Counter-Strike and those competitive games with full HD resolution, but not me. I hate this resolution that was good for me many years ago. Now I want to go with 2K, maybe 4K. So with that resolution, that processor is not really giving you benefit at all. So it wasn't worth paying more, that's why I chose that. By the way, there is this guy, I'm gonna put a link somewhere here. He talked about that very nicely, so if you're interested, be my guest and watch the video. I promise it's worth it. Support to Wi-Fi 7 at the moment. To be fair, I don't even have Wi-Fi 7. That wasn't really important for me, but like I said, in the close future I'm gonna make some small upgrades in my network, especially because recently I did a review of the new green NAS server, so I want to use all the benefits my network can provide. Together with Wi-Fi 7, also 2.5 gigabit internet port, which is freaking great because my NAS server is using this, and I always wanted to upgrade my network to that speed. All bells and whistles, guys. Amazing VRM design, which is very important for power delivery to the CPU. Ports all newest AMD processors, obviously DDR5, 3 M.2 slots, advanced AI overclocking, whatever that is, and we're gonna check it later. Recently I moved to Switzerland, so if you are in this country and you're looking for parts like this, I think the Galaxus website is the best place to go. If you live for example, in the UK, where I was for many years, I think Overclocker's site is the best place to go. If you're in the US, Micro Center. So this motherboard is a little bit overkill for the rest of the system I have, but again, I chose that only because I know in the close future I will be tweaking this a bit, maybe not in the first 6 months, but I'm sure in next 12 for sure. Another overkill I have here is this Arctic Liquid Freezer 3 Pro 360 RGB CPU cooler. Oh yeah, this is the biggest overkill in my system. Because guys, if you go with a little bit different processor, which is very similar in the price range and even the performance range. If you go, for example, instead of 9700X, if you go with 7700, not X, just 7700, you will get the CPU, which is almost the same as this one, but it comes with CPU coolers. So straight away you could cut at least how much I paid for it, 92 Swiss francs. So you can cut almost 100 francs on this whole build just by going with a little bit different processor. But again, this is not the processor I'm gonna stay forever, so I need something good, and I'm not gonna lie, it just freaking looks amazing. Small tip, when you buy a CPU, always have a look at TPD. In this case, this processor has 65 watts TPD. That means it can draw around 65 watts of power. The only thing you need to understand, more wattage means in the same time more temperature. Everything inside here will be hotter and hotter. So with 65, doesn't really matter what you have. You can buy the cheapest CPU cooler for $30 and you should be okay. But if you have something above 100 TPD, this is the time you need to be very cautious. And if you go with a standard CPU coolers, you know, the massive radiator and a fan, that's it. You need to be very careful which one you buy, because you don't want to run your system in high temperatures, because as soon as you do that, your CPU will not burn like it was many years ago. I remember old processors, Athlon or Duron, if the cooling wasn't right, the CPU could literally burn. So we don't have this anymore, but we have something called thermal and temperature thermal protection. That means if the CPU will reach certain amount of temperature, around 100 degrees, everything will slow down. So you might be playing game and you will be like, everything works, but suddenly everything is sluggish. You move in mouse and you have basically frame by frame situation. There is no smoothness, just everything is jerking like this. It's because of the thermal control kicks in and your computer is trying to save your CPU. So cooling is very important. Small tip, just install, for example, software like HW Info and have a look at something called thermal throttle. If that kicks in, something is wrong with your cooling and you need to investigate what that is exactly. So yeah, this is overkill, I'm not gonna lie, but this is beautiful stuff. I heard so many good things about this cooling. Amazing pump, amazing heat distribution, beautiful. Oh, I can't wait. With AMD processors, it's very important to have a memory that is working in the sync speed together with a CPU, because for AMD the sweet spot is 6000. For AMD there is a specific sweet spot if we are talking about the memory speed. So the sweet spot for AMD is DDR5 6000 mega transfer per second. You don't want really anything above and anything below that, because this might cause problems. I know that faster DDR in theory means everything should be faster, But the way how AMD CPU communicates with memory, it's a little bit different in the competition in Intel. So this is the sweet spot. So the good news is you don't have to pay too much for those amazing super fast memories. Just choose DDR5 6000, but just pay attention to something called latency. It's a delay in the huge shortcut. So I chose company called Kingston Series Fury, Kingston Fury DDR5 6000 with latency CL30. The only thing you need to know, the spec that this Kingston Fury memory modules are given are the best for this type of the CPU. If you go with an Intel CPU, faster memory will actually bring some benefits, but not in this case. Which power supply choose is depends mainly on the graphic card you have in the system. Because I chose RTX 5070, I don't need to have super fancy, super strong power supply. So in my case, Corsair RM850e is again a little bit overkill, but only a bit, because in theory, having RTX 5070, I could go with a PSU probably 650 and I would be still okay. But again, it's really good to have a little bit of movement. So yeah, I took a little bit future-proof power supply. This power supply can supply GPU that takes up to 600 watts. 600 freaking watts. For example, this GPU is drawing up to around 200 watts, so I have much more. Also, what is quite important, especially today, is this power supply is ATX 3.1, not 3.0. So if you're planning to have the newest, the strongest GPU out there, I'm talking about RTX 5090, you probably heard about the problem with melting power connections and destroying the whole GPU. So all the problem is resolved with ATX 3.1, which is great, so you don't need to worry about that. So why not? So if you're building computer right now, pay attention to that, 3.1, not 3.0. Obviously it's fully modular and it's white. By the way, why I chose this graphic card? Because this is only my personal preferences. You need to ask yourself what games you're playing, what resolution you want to play. In my case, I want to play a little bit of everything. I don't really care, so I'm playing a little bit Cyberpunk, even Grand Theft Auto 5. I love strategic games like Civilization 7, Sid Meier's, and I am planning to play games in 2K, not 4K, because I don't need this. So this is the simple answer for that. I don't need 4K in my life, at least not now. Going to 4K resolution, this spec here wouldn't be good. So I don't want that. Why I chose this specific manufacturer, Gainward. So again, 5070 is the sweet spot for me. It giving me amazing performance in 2K resolution. 12 gigs of memory built-in is enough. Obviously, TI version has 16 gigs, which is even better, and you could probably play 4K resolution games with a small hiccup, but with all that DLSS and AI tweaks here and there, probably you could get away with a decent FPS even with 4K resolution. But again, I didn't want to pay that much. 5070 for me is even more than I really need. Also, I am editing in DaVinci Resolve program, so great. I will install operating system on this M2 drive. I chose Western Digital Black Edition SN7100 with amazing spec, 2 TB of memory with a speeds up to 7,250 megabytes per second. This is overkill for me, but the price is great, so why not? This is generation 4, but the difference between generation 4 and 5 is so little, I doubt you could really notice any benefits from having a much more expensive drive. Few other things that I really like with this motherboard is shitloads of heatsinks, so everything will be cooled down, will be nice and cool. I'm talking about VRM section. Again, this is CPU power delivery. M2 drives, they can also heat up quite badly, so it's very important. Very interesting, at the I/O you will see small holes. There is special vent, so when you have a good airflow in your case, those vents will help distribute the heat. That's interesting, really interesting. I don't remember seeing this anywhere else. You have a power button, you have a debug LED light, so if your system is not booting up properly, you will have a quick look at the LED lights and you will know what's going on. Maybe there's a problem with CPU, with a memory. So yeah, I remember to have something like this, you needed special extension card. When I was working as an IT guy, we were using those cards. We were simply installing them in the PCI slots, not PCI Express, the older version, and I was looking at the LEDs or error code, and I knew exactly what's going on. So you have that built in 7.1 channel audio system here. Yeah, I will give you a small tip about that. Every time when you look at the motherboards and you think, I don't know which one is better from the other, just look at the I/O. You don't even need to read anything. Just look at the I/O. If it looks like this, you know you're dealing with something cheap. And if it's looking like this, we are talking about something premium, because every motherboard with a premium audio has everything else premium. So this is a small tip for you from me. It even has radar. Fucking amazing. Just simply amazing. For the price I paid, freaking amazing. And the last thing I have here on this table, I have also this, but this is for something different. This is for my different project. Wireless keyboard with a touchpad. It's freaking great. I'm connecting this puppy to another PC I have that is connected to my telly. So I'm using this as a freaking remote. So yeah, I'm watching all those movies. Even you can play games, for example, retro games on your telly. You can browse internet using your 4K telly over there in your living room, and it's freaking the best. So the last thing I have here is a case from company Lian-Li. This model is Vector V100. It's a great ATX case. Why I chose that? First of all, I needed case for full ATX motherboards. Full ATX means those big motherboards. I don't want to have any problems in the future with compatibility. So my first checkbox, let's say, was full ATX. Another checkbox for me, what was important, is a massive space for the GPU. Yes, small tip right now, have a look at the compatibility against GPU length, because you might like some case, but it's not gonna fit your newest GPU, so it's quite important. So in this case I have shit loads of space for the GPU, so I don't know, maybe, who knows, maybe I will run 5090 in the close future, so I'm ready. Not every computer case comes with a fans. In this case I have 4 fans, and this specific case was reviewed by many YouTubers, and I'm talking about really famous ones, and they all love it. So I cannot go wrong with this. Okay guys, let's build a PC. I'm a bit nervous because it's been a while. At this stage you're gonna just need one thing, is a Phillips screwdriver. Ideally, if you have different bits, would be perfect, because you never know. There is no surprise here. We need to start, and you need to start with a motherboard. So let's have a look. Ooh. What the fuck? Do you see this? Optical drive. Yeah, that reminds me good old times. Literally, I was building computers in that era. Whoa, where's the manual? I don't like it. So Gigabyte thinks that this is the manual. Oh my god. I just wanted to have a quick look at the spec and other bells and whistles, but now you need to go to the website. I don't want to go to the website because I don't have an internet at home yet. But they didn't think about that. Small tip, guys, electrostatic discharge is a thing. You could have one of those straps and, you know, ground yourself, but quick tip, touch the radiator at home to discharge any load you might carry, which I'm gonna do right now. Okay. I'm just thinking maybe I will change the position. That's a beautiful motherboard. Whoa, quite heavy. The whole motherboard is very heavy. You know, because I do not have manual, I'm not sure at the moment which slots I should use. Again, I don't have internet at home. I could use my cell phone and have a look. But yeah, it pisses me off because I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe this and this I should use, or maybe 1 and 3. Probably I will go with 1 and 3, but again, I'm not sure. And this is annoying. I'm just curious. Tell me, guys, left in the comment, when did they stop giving manuals with the motherboards? And where is the CD-ROM? I'm joking. I'm stressed a bit, guys. I'm just looking because it might be something new that I don't know. The most important, you need to align this arrow with an arrow on the motherboard. There is a small chance this motherboard will not recognize this CPU. Everything depends from the BIOS version, but before I bought this motherboard, I've noticed the oldest BIOS here will recognize this CPU. If not, but I know that it will, but if you have a CPU and this motherboard has old BIOS, there is an option to flash it using this port here provided. So there is instruction on the website. You need to download the newest BIOS, upload on the USB drive. USB drive has to be format to FAT format. You need to rename the file of the BIOS, stick it in and power up. That's it. So yeah, that's great. I remember different times and that was much difficult back in the day. Again, beautiful memory, DDR5. The most important part here, that small hole here has to align with this. So in my case, I need to flip it. So this is the proper way to go. Back in the day, that was important to put it memory exactly the same way, but since they start doing this latch only on the one side, it's a little bit different. First this side goes in and then you close it. If everything will go well, just press it firmly on the both sides and you will hear the clicking noise. The latch will go to the closed position. And the second module, again, I'm not sure this is the way to go because it's DDR double data transfer, which means there has to be specific way how you put those memories in the memory slots. It will, I mean, this will still works, but if you want to have a benefit from this super fast speeds, they need to work, they need to be in the sync mode. Okay, since I'm here, I need to install M2 drive. Back in my days, I would put this motherboard inside the case, but because we are not using hard drives anymore, we have M2 drives. I need to do this step right now. Okay, we'll quickly have a look what's going on here. Maybe there's something new that I'm not aware. Okay, all the freaking languages. Okay, now another reason why I chose this motherboard, because you don't need to deal with any screws. So for example, I'm installing the M2 drive right now. I don't need to play with any screws, just I need to use this latch here provided, so I can easily remove the heatsink. Again, it's very heavy. Don't forget to peel off those foil. Yeah, don't forget about this. The same goes to this side, so I'm gonna use at the moment only the top one, so I need to take this top one as well. Amazing, 2 terabytes in this small piece of electronics. Amazing. Freaking amazing. Okay, again, you need to align this small gap here together with what you have on the motherboard. Again, a little bit angle, 45 degrees, just stick that in. Close it. But I need to check something. Together with a motherboard, you got also those small pads. So if you want, you could use that under this to give better connection with a thermal pads here. So I'm just wondering, shall I use it or not? I'm not sure. The thick one would be too much, but probably I should use the thin one. I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave it at this stage. I'm gonna check the temperatures later. I don't think I need this. Okay, I finish here. That's in place. Just close that. I'm tempted to remove this as well, even if I'm not using. Okay, it's not obstructing anything. Okay, I'm gonna leave it for now. Okay, we have a CPU, we have a memory, and we have M2 drive. Later on I'm gonna install another one, but at the moment I just need this. Have you enjoyed the journey of building your PC? Yes, I am, but I'm also stressed. Okay, what we have here. Okay, let's have a look what we have here. We have connections important for your RGB and fans. I na przykład, ja nie wiem, panel. Okay. Before you drop your motherboard inside, you need to make sure that holes are aligned with screws you're gonna put here. I remember I had a case when someone built a PC and turned the power on and wasn't working. So what the heck was going on? Later on we found out, and this was my case actually, when I took the motherboard out and I used so-called spider mode, everything was working. When I put it back, wasn't. And I found out that one of those metal bits was in the wrong place, causing the small shortcut on the motherboard. So yeah, it's important. Let's have a look if everything aligns here. Yes, perfect. Okay, now your screwdriver will be working for you right now. Ideally you need something with a, you know, magnet that holds the screwdriver, that holds the screw, but I do not have any, so I need to do it in different way. Yeah, because this is not magnetic, I'm gonna have a problem with a hole over there because there is a tight space. And probably I will lose the screw as soon as I drop it there. Oh no, I was lucky. Okay, I just realized I was using wrong screws. Oh shit, it's been a while. I should use those ones. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's been a while. I feel like Henry Cavill, you know, the Superman. He was building the computers a few years back. I feel like him. This one here is very important because when you pull out the GPU, the whole motherboard can lift. So ideally you don't want to miss any of those holes. You need to put screws everywhere, but you know how that is. Sometimes you don't have all of them and you need to make some decisions. So yeah, this is very important one, and this one as well, because of the power plugs. And the last one. Okay, at this stage I like to connect the case to the motherboard. So all those switches here, USB ports, microphone, headset, that has to be connected right now. You have all ports here. I wish I have a manual with me. I could have a quick look, but okay, I roughly know what goes where, so it is what it is. What we have here? Okay, I need a minute to understand what's going on here. Okay, top fans are connected together with the fans on the side. Also we have okay, we have some splits, so if you want to connect something more, and that will go to the motherboard. But not only this, I think. Okay. Okay, I was about to say, what the fuck is this? Okay, this is front panel, this is audio, and that it's gonna be start, stop, research, stuff like that. And this fucker, I don't know. Okay, so this mystery port is just USB 3.1 generation 2. So this build is something new for me. I'm gonna learn a lot today. Okay. Okay, so that is typical port for fans, and that is for RGB lights. And it's very important to connect this to 5 volts, not 12 volt, because we can damage some things up. Okay, so I need this, that, and all of those. We have two types of a CPU fan connector. Main CPU connector always goes to the main CPU fan port. So because I'm connecting those fans at the moment, this will be like a secondary, less important. Okay. USB generation 2. HD audio, USB 3 cable, okay. Front panel cable, no, tak, dobra. Small cable management, okay, this is just for now. System fan, LED, RGB. Jesus, this one didn't want to go in. Okay. Okay, we have a front panel, we have a USB, we have another USB, the newest generation. We have a lights for the fan, we have HD audio. Okay, now we're gonna have a look at the cooling. That's for Intel. Lucky me, I don't need this. That's beautiful. So the actual fan is not here. This is just the blades, let's say. The actual fan is inside. So as soon as you connect this, there's like a magnetic connection, magnets. As soon as you connect this, the RGB will go on and the fan starts spinning. That's a massive radiator, just look at that. Massive. What happened with this world? I'm looking for manual. There is no freaking manual. I need to go to this website to have a look. Normally there wouldn't be a problem, but because I'm using my phone right now to record this video, it's causing me some problems. Because I just want to have a look how to mount that, but no. Okay, next steps. Because of how this radiator, because of how the pump is connected, I need to change those fittings here. Unfortunately, instruction is online. Okay, this is something I don't want to lose. was tempted to install water pump, but I realized that I will block myself from access to this power connection, so I'm gonna go with a power supply first.